Hey guys, how you doing? Hopefully you're doing okay. Going to give you a very thorough overview of the article here. There's a link in the description. There's also a couple of nice videos within the article that you might want to watch. But in the meantime, you can listen to me give you an overview. Before I do, I'm going to let you know that I'm going to give quite a bit of commentary, and you might vehemently disagree, object to my take on things, my opinion. And my opinion is not set in stone. My opinion is very much a knee-jerk reaction. I can sense that I'm being a little bit hypocritical. I can sense that my thinking perhaps isn't entirely on track. But it is what it is, and I want to be honest, and I want to express my gut reaction for whatever it's worth. So I'm going to tell you what this article is about, what this topic is about, and I'm going to rearrange things. I'm not going to read through it in the same linear fashion that is within the article. I'm going to rearrange things. So here we go. In 2014, a woman called Sarah Sands, a mother of 3 boys, left her apartment on foot. She lived in London on an estate, and she left her apartment on foot. She was carrying a knife. She walked a few blocks over. She went to the apartment, or the house, not sure, the apartment, the house, the home, of a 77-year-old man, his name Michael Plested. She entered the premises, I believe, he opened the door, they had a short exchange, verbal exchange, and then she entered the apartment, I believe. She subsequently stabbed the 77-year-old man, Michael Plested, 8 times with a knife. He died. She went on trial. She was convicted of manslaughter. She wasn't convicted of murder. I don't know why she wasn't convicted of murder. She left her home, walked directly to this guy's house with a knife in her hand, confronted the guy, proceeded to stab him 8 times. He died. Sounds like murder to me. But in 2014, the English judicial system thought, no, that doesn't sound like murder. That sounds like manslaughter. In any case, she was convicted of manslaughter. She was sentenced for stabbing the 77-year-old man to death. She was sentenced to 4 years in jail. If I understand correctly, there was a bit of a hoo-ha. There was a bit of an objection. Some people were saying, that's too light. Come on, English judicial system. What the fuck are you doing? 4 years for murdering someone. Okay, my bad, not murdering. Manslaughtering some guy. This woman walked to his house, approached him, stabbed him to death. Sounds like murder to me. Sounds like murder to others, but no. 4 years in jail for manslaughter. There was a bit of an uproar. So the sentence was increased only because of the uproar. If there was no uproar, there would have been no increase. I believe the sentence was increased to 8 years. I may have that wrong, but it was increased. But guess what? In England, if you go around stabbing people, you still are eligible for parole. So she got parole. She was let out of prison after 4 years. Now, in a moment, we're going to go through the other details within this article. And the other details are highly relevant, highly poignant, highly valid. They do change what I've said quite considerably when you put things into perspective. But even so, my opinion, which I'm struggling to get past, is my disgust of the incredibly low sentence for this woman who gets to walk free after having stabbed a man to death. It disgusts me. I think she should have served a much longer sentence. Number one, she should have been charged properly for murder. How could this not be murder? I don't know. I've just read an article quickly. I'm sure there are some reasons, but it sure does seem like murder to me. And how the effing hell, English judicial system, do you get away with giving her 4 years in jail? Fine, you increase that, but then you still let her out on parole. How the hell does that happen? To me, I'm disgusted. This is like a sign of a broken judicial system in England. I don't cover too many English topics. I cover whatever comes up in my feed and that I feel is particularly worthwhile in covering. So, I don't know, 10% or so English-based cases. So not a great deal, but enough to learn that the sentencing in England is effed. I'm trying not to swear too much. I want to keep my monetization going. Anyway, as I mentioned, there is good reason. Well, hang on, let me backtrack. There is understandable reason why this woman did, in fact, stab this guy, this scumbag. He is a scumbag. And the reason is that he abused her 3 boys. At the time, they were aged 12, and the 2 twins were aged 11. He groomed them. He indeed groomed the mother. He befriended all of them. I believe the boys would go to his apartment. He would, babysit them, look after them, but he groomed them in the process over a course of time. And he sexually abused the 3 boys, again, aged 12 and 11 at the time. Now, the boys are now men, and my words are going to be clumsy, and apologies for them being clumsy. They are now well-adjusted young men, from what we can see. There is a video within the article here, and there's a secondary video as well. I've watched the secondary one. It's quite nice, worth watching. So the boys are now well-adjusted adults. Good for them. But they still do suffer from the abuse that they faced at such a young age, again, 11 and 12. Now, having said that, they have said in an interview that they are happy that their mother killed Michael Plested. They're happy about it. Why are they happy about it? Because it makes them feel safer. This scumbag pedo lived on the same estate. So whenever they go out, if they're going to school or whatever they're doing, if they're leaving the house, coming back home, they've always got that partial fear of running into the scumbag pedo that sexually abused them. So they are glad that situation was removed by way of fact that their mother killed Michael Plested, the man that allegedly, I guess, abused the 3 boys. Now, there is further details to the story, and that is that Michael Plested is not the man's real name. The man was previously convicted of multiple cases of child abuse, 24 sex-related convictions, and he decided to change his name. So Michael Plested is not the scumbag's original name. He had it changed in order to start a new life, etc., etc. His original name was Robin Malt, his birth name Robin Malt. But he had 24 sex-related convictions. And he went to a new location. And he continued with his disgusting, horrific, paedophilic behavior. So that's what prompted the mother to kill Michael Plested. She saw him in and around the estate, not hiding. He was on trial. He was awaiting trial. So there were legal proceedings going ahead. Police were involved. Investigations were underway. But the mother felt that he was showing no remorse. And with that, she felt obliged to do what it is that she did. To go to his house and to stab him to death. Now, she claims she didn't intend to kill the guy. Didn't mean to kill the guy. I took a knife there. Sure, I didn't mean to kill him. It's just coincidence that I ended up stabbing him 8 times. She also handed herself in to the police directly after, or within a few hours after the incident. She went to the police. And as I say, she was imprisoned for 4 years. Then she was released. And now she's in the news for trying to push forward a new law which would prevent sex offenders from hiding their past and changing their names. So that's why we're looking at this story here, because this woman, this mother of 3 boys that was sexually abused, and first, let's be clear, full condolences to the boys. It's absolutely terrible. I'm glad to see that you've all become well-adjusted adults. I'm sure there's a lot of pain still remaining. I guess it's going to continue to remain for a while longer, hopefully not. So full condolences. And the boys seem to be doing the right thing by offering some level of support to others that may be victims of sexual assault. And I gotta say, the mother's doing the right thing at this point in time for doing what she can to raise awareness and to push for new laws to prevent sex offenders from hiding their past and changing their names. She believes that that's the right course of action. Do I believe that that's the right course of action to prevent sex offenders from hiding their past and changing their names? I don't know. I've only given it about 2.5 seconds thought. I don't know what the implications of that would be. But yeah, knee-jerk reaction, that kind of seems probably quite sensible. Why? So I don't feel that society owes those that transgress society's rules and values and morals, that's probably better words, those that transgress society's rules and morals and values in such egregious ways, such heinous ways, they've gone beyond the pale. They no longer deserve the support of society. They don't deserve a second chance. Certainly not those that abuse children. Certainly not those that abuse children. I mean, if I'm fully honest, if it's, I would say if it's serious sexual offences against any person, then they don't deserve second chances. If it's any type of sexual offence against a child, they don't deserve any second chances. They lose their right to be supported, to be protected from society when they transgress. They lose the right. Fuck these guys. Shouldn't swear. Gonna lose monetization. So yeah, that probably makes sense to me. Prevent sex offenders from hiding their past and being able to change their names. So they want to do that. They want to protect themselves. And in some regards, that seems kind of reasonable for them to want to protect themselves. But at the same time, these scumbags effed up, didn't they? And society doesn't want to give them an opportunity to harm others moving forward. And that's what happened here. This Michael Plested, or rather Robin Malt, did change his name and did go on to hide his background, hide his 24 sex-related convictions, and continue to groom those in the community, and including children, and subsequently abuse them. I know I've gone on a bit of a ramble. If things been a little bit too much, you may not have agreed with everything I've said as well, so you might be upset with me. I hope that isn't the case. I hope you find this a little bit interesting. I have. But it's time to wrap this up. So what are my absolute bottom line thoughts? My bottom line thoughts are that, okay, this is a scumbag and I'm not going to feel too much sympathy for the guy. Fuck that. I'm not going to feel any sympathy for him. At the same time, society should not, must not condone murder. And I do feel like a bit of a hypocrite, because there are other cases where I'm like, okay, let's give this guy a pass. There are other similar cases where I think, let's give this guy a pass. I don't know why I'm not thinking that in this case. It may be a little bit of misogyny going on. It may be, because I am annoyed about women getting too much of a pass in these cases from the judicial system, England in particular. So I am annoyed by that. I don't like seeing these women get too much of a free pass. It disgusts me. And this is a very strong case of that. Maybe that's the reason. Anyway, I've rambled on too much. So I'm going to wrap things up here, guys. Take care.